What's going on, guys? Guns are back again on another MLB video. Today we are going to be going over the best player at every position in baseball. So all 9 positions, plus we also will be doing a relief pitcher category as well. I will be giving the best player and then the runner-up as well, alongside analysis and details as to why I think they are the best and why are they the second best player at that position. Their position will be based upon where they played the most games this year. So wherever they've played the most games at this year, that will be considered their primary position. All of these, I think we can all agree that this is where they typically would be recognized. As always, these are my own opinions, and I would love to hear your opinions as well, so let me know down below in the comments section who you guys believe is the best player at each position. Did I get one wrong? Did I get one right? Let me know down below. And if you would like to see more real-life MLB videos on the channel, make sure to leave a like down below. That is the best way to show your support. I really do enjoy making these videos, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching them as well. So without further ado, let's hop into the first one. We are going to be looking at the best starting pitcher in baseball, and I think that's pretty unanimous, being Mad Max Scherzer himself. I think he's been the best pitcher in baseball for quite some time. I know he has struggled a bit this year. He has a 3.72 ERA and a 254 OBA, or opponent batting average, but you cannot deny he has been so dominant in recent years. He won the 2016 and 17 Cy Young National League back-to-back, and he was the runner-up last year to Jacob deGrom, and in those last 2 years he's had a 2.52 ERA, 568 strikeouts, and a 183 opponent batting average. He's been completely dominant and without question is the best pitcher in baseball. I guess the controversy is going to start right here, because for my second best starting pitcher in baseball, I have Justin Verlander. I know a lot of people might say Jacob deGrom, but I'm going to defend my points. So far this year, Verlander has a 2.38 ERA, a 154 OBA, 0.79 WHIP, and now with Tyler Glasnow on the IL, I think he should be the favorite to win the American League Cy Young Award pretty hands down. Ever since he got traded to Houston from Detroit when they won the World Series back in 2017, he has really revitalized his career. I think a lot of people kind of wrote him off almost and started thinking, okay, he's on the decline of his career, but he's really came into another life since he came to Houston, and he's just been insane. So I know a lot of people, like I said, would say deGrom is better. Think about this. deGrom, his big point is last year his Cy Young Award. So Verlander had more strikeouts, he had fewer walks, and he also only had a 0.04 higher opponent batting average than deGrom. So I really do think Verlander has been more consistent than deGrom, and I think he is the second best starter in baseball. Moving on to relievers, these are of course both closing pitchers. The first one being Josh Hader himself, one of the most dominant relievers that we have seen in quite a while. He broke out last year. I don't think a lot of people really knew Josh Hader's name before last year, but he has been insane, and he is even improving as time goes on. He has an 18.5 K per 9 this year, a 115 opponent batting average, and a 0.69 WHIP, all of that being improved on since last year. Edwin Diaz, I'm going to say, is the second best reliever in baseball. He also kind of really broke out on the scene last year with the Seattle Mariners, of course, leading the MLB in saves with 57 and really just making a big name for himself. And of course, now with the New York Mets, he has struggled a little bit, but trust me, he is still a very dominant reliever. He has a 194 opponent batting average and a 1.02 WHIP, which isn't the greatest, and it wasn't as good as he had last year, but still undeniably very good. One of the best and the MLB has to offer at the reliever spot. Moving on to the catcher position, one that I think is pretty thin in the MLB right now, but I do think that JT Realmuto is the best catcher currently in baseball. Of course, he was really that last piece, the last one holding on for dear life in Miami, but thankfully for him, he got traded to the Phillies and is still having a really good season. He's one of the rare combinations of speed, power, and defense that you're going to find at the catcher position. He had 21 home runs last year. He had 277 as well. This year, 273 batting average, 5 home runs so far. I would say he's probably easily the best catcher in baseball. Coming up behind him is Willson Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. I think he does have a better bat. He probably is a better hitter than JT Realmuto, but I think JT is more athletic and a better defender. He has a better arm, which is very important at the catcher position. So that's really what I'm going to measure for JT being better than Willson Contreras. And the fact that he is not as consistent as JT is. He had a really good breakout year in 2017, but he kind of struggled last year, hitting below 250. However, this year he's hitting 321 with 11 home runs. So if he continues that, he could overtake JT and become the best catcher in baseball. The best first baseman right now is Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves, a great defender and a great hitter as well. This year he is hitting .318 with 11 home runs and has a .581 slugging percentage. He's been very consistent over his career, hitting over 300 since 2016, having at least 23 home runs and having 30 plus in a couple of those campaigns. Paul Goldschmidt is struggling a bit with the St. Louis Cardinals this year, of course, after getting traded there in the offseason. He's only hitting .254 with a .442 slugging percentage, but he is still an elite talent over at first base. The last 2 seasons alone, he's on average hitting .293 with 30 plus home runs in both of those seasons, and he is a rare combination of defense, power, and speed that you're going to find at first base. So with that being said, Paul Goldschmidt is definitely still the second best first baseman in baseball. Over at second base, Jose Altuve is by far the best that they have to offer at that position. He has struggled a little bit, hitting below .250 and currently on the IL, but he's actually having his best power season so far this year, 9 home runs in under 150 at-bats. He was MVP back in 2017 and has hit about .316 ever since 2014. Altuve is still a very, very good talent. The second best is one of the game's more underrated players, that being Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield really broke onto the scene last year where he actually led the major league in hits with 192, and he's really been one of the bright spots over in Kansas City. This year he's hitting .290 with a .508 slugging percentage, which is an improvement by about .50 from last year, so he's having a very nice season. Nolan Arenado received a massive extension from the Colorado Rockies in the offseason, and he has been worth every penny that he has earned. He has elite defense and elite hitting as well. The only better defender is maybe Matt Chapman over at third base. He's hit 158 home runs over the last 4 seasons. There's no course effect here. He is one of the best hitters baseball has to offer. Coming up behind him is Manny Machado, who has been slumping a bit now that he is in San Diego once he signed there in the offseason. Of course, he had a phenomenal 2018 campaign, which started in Baltimore, eventually ended him up in Los Angeles, where unfortunately he could not come through and help the Dodgers win a World Series, losing back-to-back seasons. But he had a dominant 2018, really making a big contract for himself, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will bounce back and still have a good, productive 2019. Maybe the most exciting player at baseball is a shortstop, Javi Baez of the Chicago Cubs. He will strike out, but that does not mean he's not a hell of a hitter. He's hitting .319 with almost a .600 slugging percentage so far in this year. He was a runner-up MVP last year, only of course to Christian Yelich, who you'll probably see later on in this video, but he hit 34 home runs and hit .290 last year. One of the best players in baseball and definitely the best player at shortstop. Coming up behind him is somebody who started the season on the IL, of course being Francisco Lindor. He's hitting .290 with 6 home runs so far this year, so he has bounced back from his injury quite well. He's a top-notch defender. Probably the only reason he doesn't have any gold gloves is because Andrelton Simmons steals all of them over for the Los Angeles Angels, but he hits so good. He hits better each and every year. He had 38 home runs last year, and I think he's going to continue and keep growing as a player and become one of the best the MLB has. Ronald Guzman Jr, a rising star from 2018. Everybody was so exciting when he came up, and he did not disappoint. He won the 2018 National League Rookie of the Year, and it's not slowed down this year, hitting .281 with 9 home runs so far. He is a 5-tool player. He defends pretty well, runs really well, and hits for contact and power. One of the best young talents the MLB has right now. Giancarlo Stanton only played 3 games this year before he found himself on the IL. Now, he didn't exactly replicate the MVP season he had in 2017 with the Miami Marlins, but he still had 38 home runs and hit .260 with the Yankees last year. And trust me, once he does come back from his injury, I think last year it was kind of just an adjustment period going from, you know, Miami, where they get 10,000 people to watch, and then the Yankees, one of the upper echelon franchises in all of sports history. So I think once he comes back, he's going to turn it up. The best center fielder in baseball, Mike Trout. Really shouldn't have to explain this one. Pretty obvious. Coming up behind him is George Springer, who might just be one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. He's currently leading the MLB in home runs, RBIs, and slugging percentage, and is showing no signs of slowing down. Of course, he was the 2017 World Series MVP for the Houston Astros. He kind of struggled last year, did not perform too well, but it looks like he's really back to his full self in 2019. And it seems like we saved the best for last, possibly the most controversial for last. The best right fielder in baseball, in my opinion, is Mookie Betts. Now, Mookie Betts this year, along with the Boston Red Sox, struggled a bit, but they definitely have found their way. He's hitting above 320 right now, and the Red Sox are just a few games back from my Tampa Bay Rays in second place. He was, of course, a 2018 MVP and runner-up to Altuve in 2017, and I think he's a really good player, a 5-tool player talent. He does everything. He runs, hits, fields, everything. Mookie Betts is a phenomenal player and the second best player in baseball behind Mike Trout. And believe me when I tell you, this was so tough because, of course, at second place in right field, we have Christian Yelich, the other 2018 MVP. He's been insane, going off since he joined the Milwaukee Brewers last year. Trust me, the Miami Marlins will forever regret trading that because something tells me Luis Brinson is never going to end up being as good as Christian Yelich. But he had 326 with 36 bombs last year, almost a 600 slugging percentage. The reason that I have Mookie above Christian Yelich at this point really is just because he strikes out considerably less. I think Mookie Betts had like 40 or 50 less strikeouts than Christian Yelich, and he's a better defender. He has a better arm and he's a better glove nonetheless. So I just think for that reason, Mookie Betts is the better player than Christian Yelich. But based on this 2019 season alone, Christian Yelich is having a better year. So if that stays, maybe I'm gonna bump Christian Yelich to the best right fielder in baseball after this year. But this has been the best player in baseball at every position alongside the runner-up for each position. Like I said, this is all my opinions. I would love to hear your opinions as well down below in the comment section. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong, everything in between. Once again, I would really appreciate if you guys do want to see more MLB real-life videos. Please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you guys would like to see more. Like I said, I really am a big fan of him, having a lot of fun watching this year. Unfortunately, my Rays, which were in first place, are now in second place, but the MLB season has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great listening, and there you guys, I'm Saudi. Yay!
Love is love, and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure, and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.